Summer's been going great. A lot of guys got a lot better this summer, and we've got some younger guys who are about to step up and who are primed to step up, and then we've got some older guys that I've been with for a few years now, and I'm excited to see them all back and everyone's healthy. And overall, I'm just excited to really get back out here with these guys and get to grinding and then see it all pay off during the year, and I think it's going to be a fun one.
Chuckie, obviously coming back last year, you were coming back off the injury. Now doing so again. Is it any more mental this time coming back versus physical, or does it feel the same? Or how has it changed from coming back once versus coming back twice?
I'd say last time was probably a lot more mental. This time was more physical. I've been able to get more into the weight room and push myself a little bit more, which is something I wasn't able to do last year as far as being able to squat and deadlift. And excitedly enough, my numbers actually went up. So I guess the time probably worked itself out. But yeah, last year was kind of weird because I mean I think I focused too much on the physical side because I knew I had an extra year, but I guess my mental thing kind of went out the window because to some extent it didn't have I didn't have too much control over whether I'd be playing this year or not. So I didn't really focus too much on the mental, whether I'm going to play or not. So that aspect was kind of gone. So after that, it was just straight physical, make sure my knee is as good as it needs to be and taking all the right steps to do so. And then, I mean, by the time the summer came around, I was going full speed. And I probably shouldn't say it, but I was actually trying to go like twice a day. So I'm sure that was probably more than they wanted me to do, but I would do whenever I was at home. So I think it paid off, at least for me, at least how I see it. And I'm able to fit my clothes a little bit tighter now, so that's a positive for me and probably some of my other guys. But yeah, I feel a lot better though.
How has your approach to the game changed?
It's not really changing too much. Over the past 4 years, I've made strides in every year, in my opinion. The first year, I was still playing like I would if I was in high school, as far as like trying to not necessarily take on opposing defenders, but not really backing down from anything. Then sophomore year, it's be a little bit smarter as far as decision making, whether I want to run or whatnot. Junior year, get out of bounds, get down. And last year, I mean, I did it a little bit, but of course I didn't have the same amount of time to do it. But I can't change the exact player I am. I just have to make small adjustments that are going to help me out. What I think is I can't overthink what's going on before the play as far as whether I think I'm going to need to get down or maybe avoid a sack or anything like that. It's just towards the end of the play as far as, like I said, trying to get out of bounds, maybe sliding, and then relying on the next play that we're going to pick up first down instead of trying to just put it all on my shoulders, which is what I've done, or which is what I've tried to do in the past. So, same person, I guess, an upgraded model is the best way to put it. Yeah. No knee brace, so that's, yeah, it's just like the iPhone, getting less and less bulky.
How long have you been without the knee brace?
Since the spring, I haven't picked it up, so it's still been underneath my locker, and it's been pretty good. I feel like I'm moving a lot. I feel like I'm moving a lot better, but the thing is everyone always asks about confidence in my knee and maybe second guessing it. You have to, I mean, if you're adjusting a knee brace, you have to look at your knee every single time, so it's going to throw something into it. But no, I mean, I've been feeling good. I'm just going to wear a knee sleeve, and that's what I've been doing in the past anyway, so, or past years. So it's nothing too new.
Chuckie, I mean, this is the first time I've really been part of the team's media day. I've been around the block, but first time I've been here. I always think it maybe of it being more lighthearted. So can you tell me maybe some of the quirky team traditions, team bonding things you've done this summer, just kind of some interesting, just team building type things that you guys have fun?
Yeah, I don't really know if we can just dedicate it as far as like a team building activity. We're always around each other, so whether that's the offensive line or a few of them, so Jake Simonich and Austin Stevens and Jude and a couple of those other guys, they always go to Austin Stevens' house and Jake's house. So 4th of July, they had a big little kickback thing, so it's just a celebration and whatnot. And we'll go floating down a river every once in a while. That's always that's a yearly thing. So yeah, I mean it's not really a specific activity. We're just always around each other, and whether that's just playing video games or just staying in the locker room for a little bit too long, we're just always around each other. It helps that there's not too much to do in Logan, so we kind of rely on each other for entertainment, and we never really cease to fail in that aspect. So yeah.
A good running game makes things better on offense. Who's gonna be handling that? And
Yeah.
be effective at it.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of different guys. Lawan is clearly coming back, and he's pretty much our returning workhorse right now. So so he's already going to be a big one. Devontae is going to be there, and he's another big name that we're excited to see what he's going to do. He's one of the stronger kids I've seen since I've been here, so it's a nice thing to see. So hopefully he can carry it. Tony Lindsay's another one. And he's quick. He has some really, really good vision, which is always something that I like to see. You really never know. It can be a receiver. It can be Kennedy Williams. We've got a lot of different things that we can do. Doesn't mean that we're going to do it. Shoot, hopefully I'll get to run. But I don't know. We'll see. It depends on, first of all, week to week. You never know what team is going to throw at you. Maybe they're susceptible to outside runs with maybe a receiver or anything like that. So you never really know.
Is anything going to be different in practice? Are quarterbacks still going to wear red jerseys and
I hope
be
so.
somewhat untouchable, or how's that going to be approached?
Yeah, I would assume it's the same thing. The biggest thing for me, and I feel bad for the other quarterbacks because I know I mess with them too much about it, but the thing that I think has helped me throughout my entire time here, well, in high school, I got hit every day in practice. So first year, I wasn't ready to come in and not be touched at all. So, yeah, I might have insinuated a fight my freshman year because I thought somebody was trying to hit me, but that's not the point. But it's the biggest thing that helps is you practice like you're about to get hit. So I know my teammates get mad at me and they mess with me all the time, but I'll throw a ball out of bounds falling on the ground. But I think you would want that to happen if it's a game. So it's the biggest thing is practice like it's a game, and ultimately it's going to help you out in the game. So I think if we take that approach, then it doesn't matter if we're in a red jersey or not.
Chuckie, if you could pick one word to describe going into this season and your team and the 2015 season, what would it be and why?
Optimistic. That's the biggest thing. We had our injuries in the off season, which is hard to overcome at first, but because of the emotional aspect of it. But I say optimistic, one, because we've already gone through a lot of the down periods, and for our team, so really it's just looking up from here. And on offense, I got a lot of guys coming back, so I'm excited to throw them. I think that's really a word to describe anybody, but that's just how I see it. And shoot, that might just describe me because whether we're down 3 points or 20, we always got a chance as long as there's time on the clock. So yeah, that's really about it.
Chuckie, sorry.
Coach Wells mentioned a lot. He talked about leadership and chemistry on the field being key. Which guys do you expect to be like the more vocal leaders this fall?
Yeah, one of the big ones is Austin Stevens. He's our starting center, and last year the coaches were getting on him almost every play, which was tough for me because I want to be able to talk to him instead of the coaches because I know sometimes they're going to be able to hear me better than they will a coach or take that message in. But I think now that he's had a year underneath his belt, he's going to be able to kind of lead these guys a lot more confidently. And that's one of the biggest things that we have at the quarterback position. We have to lead everybody. We have to be confident in every single thing we do. If I'm wrong, I got to be wrong and convince everybody else that we can still get the thing right. So that's a big person on the O-line. Another one is Brandon Swindle. He's another fifth-year guy, and all summer he's all summer he's been putting in work. In May he's been putting in work. And the thing is, a big thing for me is sometimes I don't like talking as much. I just want to sit back. Well, not sit back. I'm still going to do my job, but I just want to kind of observe what everyone else is doing and kind of see how everyone responds to other people. And he's one of those guys who can get not only the receivers but maybe a tight end and some of the running backs to really step up their game. And he's actually been able to create a couple leaders out of the receiver group as well. So I think he's going to be a big influence on the offensive side of the ball.
Chuckie, how much more of a comfort level is there heading into the third season in the Mountain West, especially when you consider you guys have you've been right there in the mix the first 2 years for conference championships? It's
definitely nice to see. I mean, there's definitely a confidence around here that we can win the conference, and I think that's the biggest thing as soon as you start into a new conference. But now that we're kind of into it, I don't know. I kind of treat every single season like it's a brand new thing. Like I understand like some teams have merit behind their name and they have recruits and maybe some returners, but you're not playing the old version of a team like we're about to play Washington. I don't think anything about Danny Shelton, even though I think he's a good player. But so I guess my biggest thing is it's nice to know what we've done in the past, but at the same time, I mean it's the past. You can't really change anything, but we can definitely control what the present and what the near future has in store for us.
Speaking of controlling the future, how has your outlook changed from previous years, knowing that this is your final season and the last chance, and what's your outlook going into the season?
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of weird because I feel like I keep changing my own, I guess, outlook on it. But last year was kind of weird. The year before that, of course, I got hurt, and so I knew I had last year to fall back on. But then it was kind of a waiting game once I got hurt again. I don't know. I don't really have any regrets about anything that's happened. I think it's all set up for the better. If I didn't get hurt last year, we wouldn't have this interview right now. So that's positive. I don't know. I'd say overall I'm very optimistic, just in general. And I talk to my parents about it every once in a while, but everything has worked out so far. And to be serious, it's like if I didn't get hurt the past 2 years, I wouldn't have the team I have right now. As far as them being able to become more developed, and then me being able to have a chance to seize the opportunity to play with such experienced players. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure like every year since I've been here, everyone says like this upcoming year, this is the best Utah State team that's come. And I haven't heard that out of this year yet. But but this is what I think this is going to be our best team. So, but at the same time, I'm a big guy on talking's cheap. I'd rather show it. So I'm just going to be quiet now.
Chuckie, since you've been here, it started out with Dave Baldwin. Then it went to Matt Wells. Then it went to, co-coordinators. And now it's Josh Heupel. I mean, it's almost a different coordinator every year for you. How is this year any different, and how have you learned to adapt to that?
Clearly it's not that new, but I don't know. I see it kind of as a challenge. I feel like because we're dealing with someone new, it allows us to kind of not really fall back on old tendencies, and I think that's a big thing for us because we do a lot of things that you'll see it from time to time. That it's pretty similar to like maybe the last game where you can find something that's identifiable with last season, but it's always a different perspective, and that's always something that I like to see. For me, I love a challenge, so I mean having a new offensive coordinator now, I have to study film a little bit tougher, or maybe I have to look at some things a little bit deeper, and I mean it's nice, but as an offense we're still going to stay the same. Can't really change our identity too much. If not, we wouldn't be who we are. And